Hi, I'm Som Prakash and now I'm there with another Hibernate tutorial with the different concepts by using Hibernate annotations, how we are going to write the program, right? Yes, but before starting anything, if you like my content, if you like my way of or style of presentations, and if you have any kind of suggestions, so first please do subscribe our channel as well as write the comments for us in the comment sections, which will encourage us to do more and more hard work in order to present more and more better tutorials for you. So please subscribe as well as comment in the comment section. If you have any kind of suggestions, if you have anything, please write us in the comment section. Right now, today I'm going to show you, in the last Hibernate part 3 we have seen how do we write any kind of Hibernate, you can say Hibernate program, how we are going to write the Hibernate program in that, right? Now with that example, we have got many emails on my mail ID related to the many different questions. So yes, not all the questions, but many of the questions as I'm going to solve in this video as well as in the upcoming subsequent videos in that, right? Now, the very important thing, what next we need to do here, the important thing is the Hibernate core as well as Hibernate annotations, right? So especially in the case of Hibernate core, we are using the XML, and by using XMLs we are writing it. Now one program which I wanted to show you, or which I wanted to write it for you, and here I'll show you how to write the program by using Hibernate annotations. What all different APIs you are going to use for the Hibernate annotations, right? So till the last I'll be explaining you what all the different APIs, as I have used in the previous examples, like in the Hibernate util class which is there. This is the last example which I have shown for you, and we are not going to write a very big code, just we'll be doing a small changes in order to show you the Hibernate annotations example. So in this video till the last I'll be explaining you what all these different APIs are and how it is going to work, and what all the internal processing of all these Hibernate APIs, right? Even as well as what is the Hibernate architecture also I'm going to explain. So please watch till the end. Now let's see here first what I'm going to write here first, or if you are trying to understand, I'm just writing here I'm opening here the notepad. In the notepad now, when I'm writing here the Hibernate core programs, so what is the requirement, what all things we did here? Number one is we have written one class which is the something called as the persistent class, as I was writing here, persistent class I have written. Second one is, now for this class particularly, whatever the persistent class we were writing, for this class I have done the mapping into that case. What is that mapping I have done? Let's say this is your customer class. So for this customer class we have done the HBM file, I have written it, means related to the database, all the informations in the form of XML. In the case of Hibernate, something related to the ORM things I have given in the customer HBM.xml. Here all the informations related to the customer class as I have given into this. You can just see, and in the last class as I have already explained it in the last video, and if you're not clear with that, go and watch the Hibernate part 3 into this, right? So now we need to understand that when we are writing any Hibernate program or Hibernate annotations program, so what all the different other kind of codes, what all the different kind of changes do we need to do? So the very first thing which I'm creating is again I'm writing here the Hibernate, it's a Hibernate test2 by using annotation. I'm writing here the Hibernate annotation program as I'm writing into this. Now, well, after writing this Hibernate annotations program, so what I was explaining you, that we have the HBM file, right? So we were writing for that persistent class, we were writing something called as the HBM file we are writing here, right? Now again we were writing here the CFG file also. CFG file also we were writing. Now related to that, third one is the we are creating the session object and all other things from the session factory. So here that we were doing in the case of Hibernate util class we were doing. So now related to all these things, what all different changes are going to be done in the case of Hibernate annotations, right? So this is the Hibernate core basic requirements as I have written, and the same thing we have seen in these cases also, like how it is and what all the different client code and all other different sort of options I am writing. Now what I'll do here is in the Hibernate annotations, we are going to write the similar kind of example. So here I'll be summarizing, after writing the Hibernate annotation example, I'll be just summarizing it, what all different options as well as the things are required in order to write the Hibernate example into this, right? The very first thing what I wanted to do into this case here, the very first thing is, let's write here one customer class here. See here in the previous case, I'll just close all these things here. I'm closing all these details over here, right? So well, into this case, first thing what I wanted to do here, what I wanted to write into this case is, there are some different you can say that is the APIs which we need to again see it into this. So very first thing is that I'm going to write something here. What is that I'm going to write now? I'm writing here com dot again JTC India dot Hibernate. I'm going to write here, and inside this there is a class called as the customer class. I am writing here. Here is the particularly customer class as I have written into this. Fine. Now after writing this customer class, now see, I don't have to write anything extra into this. Here the very basic things what I wanted to do here is just I'm going to copy all the things which I have written in the previous thing. See here, the class, the customer class which is there here, the customer class, all the members as it is from the previous example, as I am copying into this here. Here I'll be taking all these things, and now the same thing as I am writing into this also. See, remember that this is the particular one which I am writing is the Hibernate annotation examples as I am going to write here. So in this Hibernate class, if you will find, that is the same thing, same example which I have written into this. Almost all the files, all the properties I have written same as like the previous program itself. So right now here we need to perform some kind of changes also. What changes we need to do according to the annotation? So first what we let's write the other examples or other things also, and then we will do. So see what I'll be doing here, that what all the maximum things which I can use from the previous example, that I'm going to use it as it is into this. Remaining what all other things are required, what all changes are required as per the Hibernate annotation programs, that I'll be changing here, right? So here now again I am writing here Hibernate util class. Well, again I am writing into this the same thing. Now again I'm just going to copy the same code for Hibernate util also from the previous one itself. So here I'm just taking down this code here. You can say that this is the particular code as I'm taking out here. After getting this code, now here is the Hibernate util. Inside this particular one also I'm just writing is the Hibernate util programs also as I have written into this, right? Now there are some different kind of, you can say that is the API and all other. This is due to the jar file which we are getting here. So I'll do one thing. I'll just build this path here. I'm adding add external jars, and after adding external jars here, next what I just wanted to do in this is the Hibernate. I'm searching here. So well, it's a Hibernate, almost all the jars which is available into the Hibernate here, that all as I'm taking it here. So most of the things, most of the errors now will be solved here. Yes, we got all the errors here. Now here important thing, remember that for that particular class we were writing the customer.hbm file. Here is the customer.hbm file I was writing. Now, in the case of Hibernate annotation example, we need not to write, what we need not to write is the customer.hbm file. There is no need of writing the customer.hbm file into this case, right? Here, even what I can do here, that is the Hibernate CFG file which is there. Remember this is the Hibernate CFG file we have. This we can take it down as it is. Hibernate CFG file, I am taking it here. Where is the Hibernate CFG file? Remember the directory structures, which is very important thing. So Hibernate CFG which is there is available inside. Where it is available inside? It is there inside the src folder, it is there. So here, well, as I am copying, I am pasting here the Hibernate CFG file into this, right? Here particular one is the Hibernate CFG file, as such we have got it here. Now, what all the different sort of changes are required, that all changes I'll be doing into this one by one, right? Now, what is next again I need to do here? So see, I have written the customer class now. For the customer class, the very important thing, what I have to do is now, I have to do the mapping here I have to do for that particular customer class into this, right? I must have to do some kind of mapping for that particular class. Which one it is now? Customer class, which is the persistent class. I must have to perform the something called as the mapping I must have to perform into this case, right? Parallelly, the client code which is there. What is the client code we have at present? This is the client code we are having it here. The client code, whatever is available here, that is the client A. Inside that, I am just copying this client code as it is. Client code as I have taken it into this. Here is inside this particular one client code which I have written it as it is. There is no changes at all into this. This particular one is the client code which we have written it here. Hope you are understanding my point. I'm just showing you that how easy it is to write the Hibernate annotation example. So many of you, as you have asked or you have written the mail to us, like how to write the Hibernate annotation example, or please show us an example related to the Hibernate annotation. So related to that, I'm showing here few examples or some examples into this now. Now here you see that are most of the program components which we have written into this now. The very first thing what I have to do into that, start seeing the things from here. The things what we need to do is that the very first changes what I am doing into this, that inside the CFG file, the very first changes which I need to do is that remove the mapping resource file. What I am removing? The mapping resource file. This tag itself I am removing here. The very first thing. See, remember one changes. Change number one is, remember it here. Change number one is, I am copying this one and here I am writing it. So in the Hibernate annotation, the very first thing what changes as I need to do into, which one now here? It is the CFG file. In the CFG file, so I am writing here CFG dot, it's a CFG dot XML file. We need to write it here instead of this particular line which we were writing in the case of you can say in the case of Hibernate core we were writing. Now instead of this, now I need to write the particular tag that I will show you what is that I need to write it here. This is Hibernate annotation, and in annotations what code we need to change here? Remember it here, the very first thing which I am writing here, right? So in the annotation, in this one particularly at the place of resources, I am writing, see what is this now? If you will see, this is the customer.hbm.xml, right? Now this customer.hbm.xml is not available in our com.jtcindia.hibernate. In this location, this particular XML file is not available, right? So if why it is not available? So all these information, since then we need to provide it into the here are called as the persistent class itself. In the persistent class itself, I'm going to provide all these sort of informations into this. Remember one point, right? So as such, I have not written that annotations. So very first thing what I need to write into the CFG file here is the CFG file. I'm just going to write it into this. What is the CFG file I'm going to write now? I'm writing here the mapping. What is that now? I'm writing here that is the mapping class something. Mapping class I'm writing here. After writing the mapping class, it's is equal to, now what is your mapping class? Our mapping class is the customer class, right? So we need to write here fully qualified class name com.jtcindia.com.jtcindia. I am writing jtcindia. Hibernate I am writing com.jtcindia.hibernate I am writing, and hibernate dot customer I am writing here. So hibernate dot something called as the customer, as I have written into this here, right? So this is one specific changes which I have done into this here, right? This is the changes which I have done. Remember it here. What I have given? Mapping class I need to do. So here this code we need to write. Where now we need to write this code, particular code? This code I must have to write it at the place of which one now? Here, this one, the above one. In the Hibernate annotation, I need to write in the CFG file. I must have to write this particular code instead of writing this one, this particular code. Here we need not to write, provide this informations in the annotations we need to read. Now, the next question here is that if I am not writing here, so in the persistent class, we must have to specify the proper annotations into this here. What is the proper annotations? Now before this, you must have some knowledge related to the annotation also, how we are going to provide the different kinds of annotation and what is the basic uses related to the different sort of annotations here. What all the different prospects related to the annotations we are going to write it inside this, right? Now into this here, first there is one package which I must have to import. One second. Yeah. I'm writing here import. What is that now? Java X dot, which one now it is? Java X dot, it's a persistent API as I'm going to import it here, right? About this corresponding API we will be discussing here, right? Now, there are many different types of annotation here. What all the different types of annotations? One annotation retention policies type. There are many retention policies of the different annotations. So you just please go through the annotations properly before watching the Hibernate annotations, because in that the complete use of you won't be able. Now there is one, here is the entity which is there. What is that now? Entity. We are marking this one as an entity. And now at the rate, what is next now? It is the table we are writing here. What is that I'm writing now? Table. The table name in the database, what we are going to have is the name is equal to, I am writing here, customer, I am writing the table name here. Remember my point, the table name is equal to, I am writing here the customer. Table name which is there already available here is the table name I am writing is the customer. Now, remember here that in this HBM file in the previous case, how you were writing it, see here, you have provided the complete package name and then you are writing the table name here, right? Instead of this one here, I'm going to that particular location, that persistent class. In that persistent class itself, I'm writing all these things, right? Next one here, I'm making here the ID. ID, hope you are well aware with the ID tag. ID tag is what now for the primary key. So which one we wanted to make the primary key? It's a CID which is there. We wanted to make the primary key. Out of that now we wanted to use some kind of here it's a generated something called as the generated value, the annotation it is there. So these all annotations, when you are starting the practicing here, then you will come to know what is the strategy. What I'm going to use is the something called as the generation type dot, which one now? Auto I am writing into this. Here this is the particularly, so this I am using for the particular one called as the CID. Now, this ID generated value strategy is equal to generation types dot auto. What we have used, I'll be explaining in this particular video itself in the last, and please keep on watching this video till the last or watch the next part of this which I'm going to give. So if you're just going now, I need to tell now in the database what could be the column name. So I'm using here, I'm using one more column name. Column is equal to, the column is equal to here, name is equal to, what is that I'm writing now? CName. I am going to write it inside this. So here CName, which we must have to enclose that into the string, I am going to write it into this. Done. Now, the way I have given the informations, I have specified the annotations all that you must have to provide for each and every field. So that's the reason you need not to write the corresponding you can say hbm.xml file for the mapping related to the database and all other things. The next one here is the CNAME, which we are doing it inside this. So initially it's not all about the CNAME. Here we must have to write, sorry, I think we must have to write here the CID. Now in particular one, what is the next one I'm going to write now? At the rate something, I'm writing here the column. In the column, what is next I'm going to write is the again, which is a name. It is a name is equal to, I'm writing here CNAME as I'm writing again into this here, right? That is the particularly called as the CNAME. I have marked this one as a name is equal to CNAME. This is also one annotation which I'm using into this. Now at the rate again, I'm writing here that is the column. Inside this now name is equal to, I have written here the name. Now again inside this the string which is the mail ID is there, so the column name which is there again I'm writing is equal to which one now? Let's say that is the mail ID I'm writing, and at the rates. Now similarly here the column I'm writing column is equal to name is equal to, inside this also what next I'm writing now? Phone number I'm writing, and again after the phone number city as well as the same thing as I need to write it for the city as well as for which one now? Let's say for the balance also, right? Now phone number we did. Now here I'm writing that is the city I'm writing, and immediately after writing the city here now I'm writing the something called as the balance as I am going to write it inside this, right? Now associated with all this, now we have already the setters as well as the different types of getters. Well, I have written into this now. So setters and as well as the getters, all these are different kinds of options which I have written into the persistent class called as the customer class into this. Now next what I must have to do into the Hibernate util, I am going. Where I am going now? Hibernate util as I am writing into this. Where's the Hibernate util in our program? Yeah, Hibernate util is available here. Well, in the case of Hibernate util, the code is going to be the same itself, in that there is one very small changes which I must have to do into this. What is that? Instead of configuration, I am writing into this here. What is that I'm writing now? Let's say annotation configuration I am writing here. Well, you know. Here instead of this, what I'll be writing, just remove it, this one, and I'm writing annotation configuration I am writing here. Again I am making it here, that is the CFG is equal to new annotation configuration. I've done the same thing as it is now here. When you are writing this configure method, so you must have to again typecast here. You can see the error. What is there? Cannot mismatch to the configuration to the annotation configuration. So I must have to typecast it to the annotation configuration into this. What is configuration and what is annotation configurations? We will be again discussing it later on into this. At present, I am just showing you the basic configurations related to the Hibernate annotation program into this. Now Hibernate again into that, the build session factory is going to be the same, and remaining all other things mostly you can say is going to be the same. This is what your basic Hibernate program is. Now here also Hibernate util dot get session factory and all other things which you are going to write it here, and that is mostly it is also going to be the same in this case also. There is no other changes are going to be inside this cells. So hope you are okay with this. We have done with the which one now? Our complete program into this. Well, so I'm just going into this here where I'm going. Let's close it once. Let's close it once. Let's close it this also. Yeah. Now I'm going into this. There is a client A. We have the certain clients. In that client we are performing some operations. In the customer class we have specified all the required annotations with this customer persistent class, right? We have just written all these things here. Now here is the Hibernate util is available. Inside the Hibernate util we have written. So previously configuration was there, and inside this is also one important changes which we need to do into this particular 2 lines here. So inside this, the second important change is into this Hibernate annotation. What you do, annotation which you need to do is this also. This is the, especially you are going to write, especially where you are going to write in the Hibernate util you are going to write, where instead of which one now? Configuration. So hope you can understand. I have written just in front of you itself. Yeah. So you can get it here. Now this is the entire program which I have written into this. Now let's run the client and we will see here what is happening into this. Again, I'm running it here. Java application as I'm running into this. There is some problem into this class not found, oracle.jdbc.oracle driver. Well, whenever this problem is coming here, see I'm showing you the different types of errors also. If this problem is coming, it means that we must have to build the it's Oracle jar file itself. So configure the path. Which one now path we need to configure here? Libraries. 1 second. I'm just clicking on here. Build path. Add external archives. Into this now. OJDBC. 1 second. It's Oracle. OJDBC14.jar I'm mostly taking and it will work out mostly. So yeah. So let's check it out into this now. Here now I'm writing run as configuration path as I'm doing into this. We'll see whether we are able to run a program or not. Let's have a look on this. It may be taking some time. All illegal access operations will be denied in future. Yes. Now here you see that just at present we are not focusing on these all things. So leave it at present what all these informations are giving here. And now inserted into the customer. So here if you will open the something called as the database as I am opening. So we just need to see here with the Hibernate annotations we are able to do something or not, whether we got what is required into this or not. 1 second. SQL. What is the problem into this now? I'm just opening it. Once I'm opening it into this, here let's connect it here. Connection system and JTC something. So I'm writing here. Well, we will see the DESC customer as I'm writing. Here we have the table which we have created just by using the Hibernate annotation into this here. So now you can understand what is the basic programs, what is the how to write the Hibernate annotation program. Here in this, the major changes what we have done into that, I have just given it into this, how we are writing all these things and how we are just going to write all these different kind of example and all here. Right. So in that we are also providing the online class for Hibernate and all things. Hibernate 5, Spring Boot and all other things. Still we haven't uploaded the Spring videos on that. So very soon you will be getting the videos on Spring and all other things here, right? So here now, if you are again getting any question, any doubts related to this Hibernate programs and related to this, you can say that is the Hibernate annotations program. So again, you can ask any doubt, any questions, right? And yeah, you just keep on commenting the questions. We will be replying to you. Now in between that itself, mostly on any Saturdays and Sundays, generally on the weekends, I'll be coming live on YouTube channel, and in that whatever questions you have live you can ask, and that I'll be there to answer you. Thanks once again. I'd like to remind you, please subscribe and comment our channel. Thank you.